I am back, by the way, just so you know.
Hello. Yes.
Hi.
Is the little one okay?
Oh, she's not very little.
Oh, okay.
She's
The
fine.
not so little one.
Is the medium one okay?
She just wanted to know if she could open the new milkshakes. So, yeah, it wasn't important.
No, I can. Well, having been saved by a frappuccino earlier, I can see that has been very important.
True.
I'm kind of let down. We thought it might have been a dragon.
Well, we are Welsh, so
I was saying that.
dragon.
I just had visions of kind of some sort of Welsh train line, like in that Stereophonic song where the boy died, and
I don't know that one, and I really shouldn't I?
na na na, you smell that smell, time to time. Local boy in the photograph. That's the one. I presume you've pressed the magic button of recordage.
I pressed it ages ago.
That's awesome.
Oh, did you? Are we podcasting now?
Literally, when we turn on the thing, I just hit the button every time because we might miss something good, like like the
Like that. Then
or the stereophonics.
You see, we don't need to edit this at all. If somebody's listening, they're going like, "Who is this guest? Who is this guest?" I was going to do something else. I was going to vacuum my face or go and rub my child onto the top wall. But no, who is this guest? I must know. And welcome to Twin Humanities.
Oh, thank you.
It's Laura Rich. Hello, Laura Rich.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I am okay. Does your child have all the milkshakes?
Well, hopefully she hasn't got them all, because I would like one.
Yeah, I was going to say, knowing that you've got those sort of things in the cupboards is always really important.
Yeah, well, I prefer not to have them there because I want them constantly.
The important question is there any milk?
Yes, there's loads of milk. There's always milk. I've got a freezer full of milk. When you have children, you need to have a freezer full of milk.
Are they stereo milkshakes or are they previously pre-made milkshakes?
It's like Nesquik.
All right, okay.
Ooh.
Giant box.
Pots of powder and fluff.
Yeah.
Nice. They're dangerous.
Sugar.
They're dangerous when you're in the house on your own, because I can tend to have chocolate cravings, and I've got a real thing for raisin and biscuit Yorkies. But if I know they're in the freezer, not the fridge, but the freezer, important difference. I can tend to binge if I know they're there. They can go quite quickly.
Yeah.
Anyway, they're Dark Souls stuff. And
What's Dark
Nice
Souls?
to you. I liked it.
no.
I didn't realise this was a Dark Souls podcast.
Welcome to the Chocolate Podcast. I'm Bob Galaxy, and with me, as always, is Harry Cadbury's.
Hello.
Yeah, we're putting aside our rivalry to talk to you about chocolate. This isn't. This is the greatest episode ever, or it isn't going very well. Laura Rich, who was most recently on Chris Span's excellent Recycle Bin episode. Well, there was episode Dark and episode Souls, and you were on episode Dark, I believe.
Yes.
And if you've not checked those out, go to recyclebin.tumblr.com and download lots of them because it's an Ace podcast as well.
It is.
But, the Dark Souls ones were super groovy, and I know a lot of hard work went into them by Chris just before the release of Dark Souls 2. So give those an ear gulp.
I think he almost made himself ill trying to get it all done.
Yeah, he's a good lad. They were fantastic listening as well. So how did you get into the Souls games?
I just I listened to quite a few podcasts, and everyone talks about how great it is, and I'm always the kind of person that doesn't listen to that, and I wait, and then like a year or two after a game has come out, I'll be like, okay, I'll try it now.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, basically it was just something that I always wanted to try, but I didn't get into it till very late, and then once I did play it, that was it. I played it 3 times in a row and bought Demon's Souls, and Dark Souls 2 came out, and then I played that a couple of times, and yeah, I fell in love.
So was it Dark that you started with it?
Yes.
So what tempted you to finally kind of pick it up? I know you said that that there have been various podcasts and people talking about it. Well, did you go to the game shop specifically to get it, or were you wandering around?
I borrowed it from a friend.
Uh-huh.
I was just like, oh yeah, I really want to play that. I hear it's really good. And I borrowed it, and I didn't play it for a long time. And then my friend ended up buying another copy because I'd had it for so long. Mm-hmm. So I said, well, I really do need to play it now. So yeah, then I finally just got into it, and it was very stop-start because like the Taurus demon is a common quitting place, and what else? Blighttown is a quitting place for a lot of people. But yeah, I just did it. It just clicked one moment after like a couple of restarts of the game, and then I was just hooked.
So was it sort
That's
of
quite
stepping?
common, isn't it? Really, that's quite a common way. We've heard that a couple of times, really, haven't we? You bounce off it a couple of times. I mean, I was the same with Demon's Souls. I bounced off it at least twice before I really settled down and it clicked. Yeah. And yeah, I hear it an awful lot. It's amazing that people end up going back and playing it again.
There's something about it though, even when it hasn't clicked, there is something there that you think I still really want. But I think for me it's just I wanted to beat the game. Because my first few hours in, it reminded me how much I really do love difficult games, and I like the stress, in a good way. I like that it pushes you to think and to actually develop skill. So that I knew I was always going to complete it, but sometimes it just got too much, and you're just like, oh, I can't do it. I hate this game.
So was it a case of sort of stepping stones as you went along? Because you said that there was Taurus Demon and then there was Blighttown. Were there sort of extended periods where you thought, sort of, balls to this, I'll leave it alone, or was it a case of kind of back on the next day and then cracking on a bit further, or?
I don't know. I can't remember too much. I just remember 1 minute being just completely into it, and it's pretty much Souls has been pretty much all I've played this year, apart from StarCraft. So yeah, I don't know, but I remember when I found out that Firelink Shrine was like the center of everything, and you could get everywhere from there, and I thought I just got like tingles on my back, and I think probably that was the moment that I didn't put it down until the 4 Kings, because I needed a break after fighting them for about 100 hours and not winning.
There is that wonderful feeling though when you get near to Firelink and that starts sort of just rising as you're getting closer and closer.
I want that to play every time I walk into my living room or something.
Yeah, and then your kids come in and they're like, but Mum, and you're like, shh, shh, shh.
Just come and sit down around the bonfire.
You've got a room where they're not allowed to talk, or they come in and they're like, Mum, what happened to the sofa? Just like there's just a sword and a fire in the middle.
Never mind the giant snake in the corner. Just ignore him. He's fine.
Well, he's pretty friendly, isn't he?
Yeah. Who's the man sitting over there? Oh, don't mind me. So was there? I know you said that you like games with difficulty and a challenge. Does that sort of hark back to how you got into games, or games that you played when you were younger, or?
I didn't play games when I was younger. I wasn't allowed because games were the devil. Mm-hmm. So yeah, so now I play a lot of games, but I also stick to games I know I like. Mm-hmm. And try and get the most out of them. So I don't play I should be like, yeah, give me all of the games, but I just kind of stick to certain games and try and master them, because I would only be able to go to friends' houses and play little snippets of games, and I'd always want more.
Mm-hmm.
I'd always want to find out everything about the game that I just played, but it never happened for me. So I don't know when I started liking difficult games. I think it's just because I'm just a bit of a poser, and I like to be able to brag, perhaps.
I think there's something to be said though for staying with the game, because I know that particularly from about August last year onwards, it was just constant Monster Hunter for me. I just couldn't leave it alone, and even with the likes of Dark Souls, it's a game that's really easy to restart again. And when you do restart, you're like, oh, this is a great game to restart. It just feels great to wake up in the asylum again. Strangely enough.
Yeah, I'm probably going to go back this year.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely.
Especially when you've been watching either lore videos or somebody's picked up on something else, and you can go like, oh yeah, like, and there was one video where they showed that at the start of the game when Oscar of Astoria's staring through the roof, if you look past him, you can see the asylum demon on the roof.
Ooh.
And that you realise that it's the asylum demon that ends up smacking him through that hole that you reach him later, and I was like, oh cool, I'm going to check that out. Or if there was the video where I saw that if you started the game with the master key and you went into Valley of the Drakes and went the other way around, you don't need to encounter the big red dragon on the bridge at all. And little things like that, it's like, oh god, I'm gonna have to give that a try.
Yeah, I would play a whole game through just to see one thing that was different.
So what's been the biggest moment for you in Dark Souls? Is it either a particular challenge that you came over, or a boss battle that just took your breath away, or?
It's got to be just the Soul Level 1 run.
Oh, you're one of those crazy people that have managed it, aren't you?
I am.
Oh, which puts you in a very lofty position, because neither me nor CJ have managed it yet.
I thought you both would have.
We kind of stuttered a bit about Anor Londo, didn't we?
We were bro-hopping, and somebody, not mentioning any names, seemed to turn up for the fight with Ornstein and Smo in his world. But when we were returning to my world and we were trying to beat them, he seemed to be dying all the time.
I don't know what happened. It was working, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh, now they both hate me this time. Why do they both? Oh, okay. Well, I'll meet you outside in a minute.
It was bizarre. I'd see sort of the mixture of I'd hear, oh, and then just like Phantom Paddy Stardust has left your world or something. I'm like, Paddy, you're like, oh, I'm sorry.
Because we battered it in one go, and like my one, didn't we? Like 1 or 2 goes, we smushed it.
Yeah. I think it may well have been first time. And then
I was told I wasn't allowed summons.
What?
Yeah, I was told it doesn't count if you summon in your. And I'd already summoned. I'd used Soleil for the Belfry Gargoyles, and
but
I
that's
was
an
like,
NPC summon, so I suppose within
True,
those rules you're allowed, but not allowed to summon.
yeah.
To be fair, usually you can't summon.
Yeah, you can't. It's very rare to get another level 1 at a later fight. So yeah. But I was seriously considering starting again, but I just thought, well, I just won't summon any more.
Because there is that bit, because we were going through on the bro-hopping Soul Level 1, and there's the point where you get to the depths, and normally that first bonfire's chock full of little chalk drawings, and when you get there, it's the first time where there's nothing, and you're like, oh,
I'm so alone.
But it's a double-edged sword, because you don't have summons, but you also think, maybe I won't be invaded here. You still get invaded.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't.
Oh, you still get invaded at level 1 all the time. All the time. Yeah, all the damn time.
I was really lucky. I did play it towards the end of Dark Souls, so maybe people had stopped being so busy with invasions.
Well, one of the joys for me was knowing what I was doing a little bit and sort of taking a club up to +10, taking my armor up to +10, going and getting all the pyromancies, and then invading people in the Berg. So people, I just imagine them running around with like a sword, going like, "Oh no, someone's invaded!" I'm there, and just like have all of the fire or fire. Dun, 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 dun.
It's payback for it was done to you. It's like one of those American, like, what are they called, the frats, where you join and you get hazed, but then the next year you're allowed to haze the new guys. It's basically that, but with dragons.
I wanted to join the Dark Wraiths on my... I did aim for it, but then the Four Kings just really wore me down, and I thought, I'm going to go fight someone else and feel a bit better about myself, and then come back to these guys last.
That's what we were aiming for, wasn't it, really? We were both aiming for Dark Wraiths. We've both got a Frant sitting there untalked to. Mm-hmm. Just this big sort of snake just going, hello?
That was the point where we encountered
and he's still
5.
waiting.
Big weird snake turned up in your house. You've not said hello. Don't care. No.
It sounds like Tom Baker. That was the point where we discovered a 5th king, wasn't it?
Yeah.
That was very bizarre. I don't know if we just took too long or whatever, but we were like, what?
I almost killed them. I thought I had.
I think you can get 7.
What?
Oh God.
Apparently, if you kind of play it like barely doing any damage and kind of just surviving, I think the maximum you can summon is 7 kings.
That's bad mathematics.
It seems a little bit broken, right?
Yeah.
That's false advertising.
Yeah, so Gwyn's splitting his soul and giving it to the kings of New Londo, but it's like, so do you think these guys are up to the task then? Yes, they're really, really powerful, but are they clever? Maybe not so much.
So how did you find your One Bro run? How did you find it compared to your like regular runs? Like, did it take longer?
It was a lot shorter, but I knew what I was doing more, and I knew where to go, so there's no wandering around. It was amazing. It was just a really amazing experience. I don't know, you just feel so good every time you fight anything, even just at the start, like the weaker enemies, and you're not taking hits because you can't, because you need to be a glass cannon, so you're dodging all the time, and you really have to focus on it. And so when you realize that there's no point putting armor on because you're just going to get a tiny bit more health, so you take your armor off so you can be faster, and you don't wear rings that can give you extra health because there's no point having that extra slither of health. You just need to go pure damage, and that was just, I don't know, it was really fun. I enjoyed it a lot, but obviously super frustrating. And I did think that there were points, like with the Four Kings, when I thought, this is it, I can't go on, I'm done, this is where my journey ends.
So do you remember the moment when you overcame them, or should we bring your kids onto the podcast? They're just like, oh, you mean when Mum got complaints from neighbours from 3 streets down?
Do you mean that day we learned all the swear words?
Yeah.
No, I don't play with them around, partly because one of them is a little bit young, so it'd be it's a little bit gory, maybe, I suppose. But I can't concentrate on the game if I'm being spoken to at the same time. So, like, oh, so what I did in school today, and blah, 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 blah. So, yeah, I just did it in the evenings and on the weekends and things, so they weren't around. But I can remember the moment, because you get that kind of shortcut scene of them die, and I just, actually happened.
Big blue flame engulfing you, and just like, remember me as I transcend each other.
I don't know what I can ever do now in a game that will beat that last moment when I killed Gwyn. There's nothing else that compares.
Because I know people complain about that boss fight, but I just think that there's something. I mean, the music's really tranquil anyway, but there's a sadness there to me that echoes the fact that this isn't a man at his height. This is a man that sacrificed himself to the flames. Is at one with all of his decisions as well. The son that he's cast aside, the son that he's raised as a girl purely because of her affinity to the moon, and it just seems like a man at one with his regrets, and he's expecting you to arrive.
Yeah.
He's expecting you to not only take his place, but almost, if you're worthy of testing him, this is a man that's ready to die.
Yeah, I felt that.
And there's similar sort of thing with Demon Souls as well. There's an ending which might seem anticlimactic to those that are expecting to, stab the world. But I like that kind of mournful quiet that's there at the end of the Souls games.
Yeah, I didn't like the Dark Souls 2 end boss.
Mm-hmm.
I felt kind of deflated after, like, oh, that was the end.
It just sort of happens, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I noticed that. You're playing, I'm thinking, oh, it's over. Oh.
Yeah, I wasn't ready because I was just kind of exploring around, and I was like, oh, I can go back here again and do this, and I just wasn't. I mean, I know I can. That doesn't make the game over, but I just wasn't ready when it happened. So I was a little bit sad, but New Game Plus has really made me love Dark Souls 2, I think.
Yeah, and at least it doesn't force you straight into New Game Plus. You can go around and tidy up or not tidy up, as the case may be.
With Nashandra, I think that once again that's getting a little bit of a bad rap for me. And I've been the lore of Dark Souls 2 has been slowly creeping up on me. And I remember there was a Terra Mantis vid about Manus, and there was a quote which said they found that thing themselves and they drove it mad. And I know there's the speculation that Manus is actually sort of the furtive pygmy, and I just imagined the furtive pygmy as a human, and the more they experimented on it, and the more they pushed it, the more it broke its humanity, because obviously it's surrounded by that as well. But the more it became the beast that you saw there, and when you defeat Manus, there's Dusk of Ulasil inside, and to me that almost represented this subconscious longing for love, or someone that had been lost and forgotten. And that's why Dusk of Ulasil was the heart of Manus, that she was the center of Manus. And Nashandra is supposed to be a piece of Manus, or a fragment of Manus. What if Nashandra is all of those emotions? That's frustration and love and want, because it's a female form that's there as well. And in the same regard as Gwen, what if it's a creature that's there to test you, but is ready to be replaced, is ready to see that you're worthy?
I felt that she didn't even really notice I was there. Mm-hmm. Like, she was kind of sad and just not bothered by what was going on around her. Or maybe she just, because when you first go into a boss fight, they smack you down almost instantly, and that didn't happen. Well, so I was like, oh, this is easy, being a knob.
Well, tying into that, the sort of musing that I had, I mean, Dusk was quite catatonic when she was inside Manus as well. So maybe all of this is born from the dream, or born from the mixture of love or want, or the frustration of not being able to remember a specific of who that person was. Yeah. And maybe the fragment that became Nashandra was born from that. So I don't know. It's one of those things that, like with Dark Souls, at that early point where things start falling into place, you start going, oh, and it anchors you to the game a little bit more.
Yeah.
Because at the point that everyone's played Dark Souls and all the lore stuff is out there for people to delve into, I think it's easy to forget that stuff had to be figured out and shared by the likes of Varty and Dave Control Live and folks like that. And then we gained a greater appreciation for the game, and it's easy to think that Dark Souls 2 feels empty in comparison, when I don't think we've got our fingernails dirty yet.
I mean, look how long it took the game came out Dark Souls came out a couple of years ago, didn't it? And things like lore videos with new ideas and new theories were still coming out, like even up to the launch of Dark Souls 2, really, weren't they? There were still odds and sods people seeing things. Like, what about that? What about this? And then you kind of cast the whole game in a bit of a different light, doesn't it? You think, like the classic is the Petrus moment.
Yeah. When you showed me that, and I was he became my most hated person in the game.
Yeah. We both had a moment where it was a throwaway line from, I think it was Oswald. But you're drenched in sin, just like Petrus or so. I'm like, what? What did he do wrong? And then you Google it. You're like, oh.
That line for me, when he said, she's down in the tomb, you can do whatever you want to her, and he laughs. Hated.
See, it was you that told me about that, CJ, and I had no idea. I thought he was a nice guy.
Well, Paddy told me in the playthrough he was playing, and I was like, what?
It was only on a random, just a random off-heard line as well. I thought, wait, what? And it just kind of threw the whole thing up for a spiral, and further cemented my Lautrec is a cool guy, because he tells you kind of as well that Petrus is a dick too, but you're like, oh, he's a bit evil, he's probably just lying. And he doesn't lie. Lautrec has never lied. Everything he tells you is kind of true.
Yeah.
So I know you said that you delved into Dark first. Did you go straight to Demons from there, or?
Yes.
It was literally a finished Dark and then grab Demons.
Yeah.
What do you make of it?
I really liked it. I haven't played enough of it yet. I've done the first world, I'm sure. I know I've done the first world. I'm on the second, I think. But then Dark Souls 2 came out, so I jumped straight onto that.
All right,
because I thought, well, Demon's Souls has waited this long, so it can wait a little while longer. But I will go back to it.
What were your initial sort of musings on, I don't know, the differences between the games and stuff?
I don't know. It all felt right, and I was just like, yep, I know what to do. I like the Nexus. That was pretty cool. It just felt Soulsy, which is what I wanted.
So what have you made of Dark Souls 2 thus far?
I really, really like it, but it's not quite as special as Dark Souls to me. But like when you're saying about people are saying that it's empty because we haven't discovered everything. I've got this really terrible habit of trying to outsmart it, and when I see something, I think, oh, that's got to mean something, and I'll try and figure out what it means, and it'll end up just screwing my game. Like,
such as?
Well, you know the fog in the shaded woods.
Yeah.
I went in there, started getting attacked, and I'm like, right, I'm on to you, Dark Souls 2. I know I can't beat these ghosts yet, so I'm going to go away, and I'm going to come back when I find the item I need to beat these ghosts. But, of course, you can. I just didn't even try, because I was like, no. I know best.
I know how this bit works.
Yeah.
Foolish game.
I saw a bit of Matt Lee's when he was in that fog, and he was like, "Oh, I realised that if you just let them attack you, that's the point where you realise where they are." And part of me was just going, "What?" Just because the sheer panic of when I walk into that and then look behind and the fog's just enveloped me. It's sheer blind panic, and
horrible, isn't it?
The mindset of being able to realise that this is a video game and calmly just wait for someone to wander up and attack and then twat them, it seems like a million miles away from anything that would exist in my head. My hat is tipped to you, Matt Lees, but it's, I don't know, it's possibly the moment where I screamed the loudest in Dark Souls. And because when you've got a room and it's dark and you're there and you're aware, you're going, whoa. or when you get hit by something that you can't see, sort of like this sort of vibrating Scooby-Doo, where you go like, whoa.
I like as well they've managed to like make. Well, I think that bit is probably the scariest part of the whole game. Like it fills me with more dread than the gutters do, or all of those kind of dirty rat areas. Like, I'm more scared walking in that place, the endless fog gate, and it's completely bright and white. Like, when's the last time the game did that?
It's not very big either.
No, it's tiny. And there's a few little side corners and a talking head, which is
still scary.
Isn't this the sort of thing that Dark Souls in particular did best? That walking across nothing at all in the Crystal Caverns.
Oh
God!
Walking amidst pure black nothing with the Four Kings battle. Even the situational stuff where you walk into the Capra and it's giant guy in a shed essentially. And that really messes with your head, I think, especially when you've gone from an open area, and for it to feel such a wide place within that fog, yet you genuinely feel vulnerable and lost and scared that you can't get back, and it's a wonderful sort of almost like a childlike feeling of just feeling like you can't get back home.
I mean, I was expecting the entire time when I was in there, until I cleared it out completely, I was expecting there to be some sort of big thing in there.
Yeah, the
like
trees.
You know, like the cat things from Darkroot Garden.
Yeah.
Those big grinning.
Oh yeah.
Like the ones that sort of run and sort of bomb at you with their faces. I was expecting there to be one of those, and I hate those guys. Like, I think that was one of my in Dark Souls 1. That's one of the times when I yelped audibly. It's like, oh, what's a nice cat? Oh, Jesus Christ! And I was expecting something more than it turned out to be, and I think that made it worse. Again, because you go in, you look around, you see a chest or two, and then you think, right, where was the door? Where was the way out? Was it here? No, it's not there. That's a ledge. Oh, dear.
I think because just before it as well, you end up fighting there's quite a big creature that's not far from there. And I kind of wondered if I was going to run through that fog, even in a blind panic, and then, there's that sort of in the distance.
Trees about?
Yeah, the whinging trees.
The trees that moo.
Yeah, I kind of just thought that I'd run up at a certain point and there'd be something just fucking huge that would just start to give me something like a tower knight, or something that big would have been amazing in that, because you'd have gone from really claustrophobic and panicky to suddenly having that with something massive coming at you. And I think that's where the vibrating Scooby-Doo would probably have gone into orbit, or the neighbours would be sort of ringing the buzzer. Are you okay? No, there's this game. Oh, video games, bye. So what would you describe as a Laura build? What sort of character you go for?
Well, a typical Laura thing would be to never stick to one. So I've got 3 on the go at the moment, and I've got like a high faith dex and a quality build and a Hexa on the way. She's not very strong yet. She's very like level 20 or something. It's very early in my Hexa. But my favourite one is the High Faith, and she was a Sunbro for a while, but she's just joined the Blue Sentinels and got 1 summon in about 10 hours.
I love getting the summons in the Blue Sentinels. I didn't think it was going to happen, and then when it first did, I forgot I got the ring on.
I just want to see what I look like in blue.
Fashion Souls continues after a short break.
But when I got to the person being invaded's world, they killed the invader, so I got sent home.
Yay, you did your job.
Yeah, I fulfilled my duty.
I find that does highlight a little bit of a weakness in the Blue Sentinels. Is that I've tried that. I was a Blue Sentinel for ages. Didn't get summoned once.
It's too fussy, isn't it? I mean, you have to be human, and you have to wear the ring, and they have to wear the ring.
And someone has to invade, and no one's invading anymore because the Bell and the Rat Covenants are too much fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's no one invading anymore.
Yeah, but the thing is that I tried. I've been doing a build on Xbox 360 as well, and I've had in my short space on there, I've had 4 summons on Blue Sentinel. Blue Sentinel. A few that have been sort of quite quick, but one of them where the person that summoned me, I couldn't actually find them at first, and they were standing on. There was sort of a high wall, and then they went out a little bit, and then they were standing on the very edge of it. So whomever else was hunting them down could only come one way if they could get onto that bit. And so it took me ages to find them. Never mind the person that was sort of out there as well, who absolutely smacked the shit out of me when they found me. But it was just nice for it to kick in. But why it's happened so many times on the 360 version and not on the PS3 version, I don't know.
Could just be down to the way people like. I don't know. It just could just be that. Yeah, like I think more people are just playing with the rat bros and the bell bros, because that's all I see people talk about when they talk about PvP. It's the rats and the bells.
Mm-hmm. I did the Belfry for a while to get Titanite chunks, and it was I did enjoy it, but it was kind of a pain because I was only doing it for the Titanite chunks, which I really, really needed. So then, if I ever went back to the Belfry to do anything else, and I got invaded by grey spirits, I would stand there so they could kill me, so they could get Titanite. But they don't. They wait. And
it's unfair. Like, you can't kill someone that's idle.
No, they don't do it. But even if I turn around so they can backstab me, they still don't attack.
There's this level of submission. That's just...
I'm just like, come on, mate. Just get over with it. Get over with it.
That's shocking.
But even if I do the gesture, like, come on. So, and I started doing the gesture, and then there were 2 grey spirits in front of me. They started doing gestures right back, and we just all stood there doing gestures.
You see, I love this sort of stuff. There was a guy that invaded me. I think I'd nipped to make a sandwich or something, and I came back, and this guy was just rolling across every box in the room, trying to get my attention. And I came back in and I just said like, and I was like, what? And then sort of when I finally came to, he like gave me a wave, and I was like, you sir were a hero.
Yep.
There is definitely a statute of limitations on it though. Like I made a no armor Cestus's dual Cestus guy because armor is for weaklings. And a guy called let's call him Pulse. It was Pulse numbers, you know what people are like. Pulse joined me for the Pursuer fight, and we battled around together, and it was going really well. And he just got killed right at the end of the fight, and I felt really bad because he kind of helped me out, and I was like, I felt really bad. I sort of beat the fight, and then I realised, I've got a cracked red eye orb. Oh well, I've never used them. I've got this stupid build with no armour. Let's see what I can do. So I invade, and it's his world I invade. And I thought, now I feel double bad. So I ran all the way up. He was stood outside the Pursuer door, idle, just stood there. And I ran up to him and I waved. And I waved again, and I bowed. And I did the one where you get on your knees and you sort of raise your hands to the air in a war cry.
Oh, I love that one. It's my favourite.
It's so good. I like doing that in Hade's Tower of Flame when someone does the bridge. You just stand in front and go, "Oh!" as the bridge comes down.
I see it as more of a no, don't leave.
Oh no, it's definitely a rise from your grave.
That one's gained new light since I think I did one of those from the front, and it might even been you, Pat, that did one behind the character, and it just looked like porno.
Yeah.
Wrong. We have serviced you now.
Well, depending what armour you're wearing, the thigh gets rather sort of attractively revealed when you do that.
Oh, that's just wrong.
Everyone look at my thigh!
But one of my favourite things of summoning and being summoned is when you get a name of someone that genuinely makes you laugh.
Yeah.
There's been a bit of that. I think the other day there was something like Daddy Loves Cream, which made me herk as much as it made me laugh. There was one that was something like Baba e Pepe, which I don't know why it still sticks in my mind, but it was making me giggle at the time. But the best one was when I got summoned into a world, and it just said you were entering the world of dry penetration.
I had a similarly terrible one yesterday. The guy's name was Goat Milker.
What?
Goat Milker.
That's perfectly innocent, I'm sure.
I don't think you think, is it innocent though? Is that a trap?
I'd like to imagine that christening. The proud milker families. Oh my God! Maybe it's the chocolate barons of Switzerland.
Dabbing the holy milk on his forehead.
Yo, we are going to get our son christened. That's my stock European accent.
I've got a question about invading and summoning that you may have had before, and I might not be able to make it make sense. So, right, if you're a blue sentinel, if you're, say you're a sunbro, and you get summoned to a world to help someone that's been invaded by a blue sentinel, what do you do? Because the blue sentinel has invaded this person because they've gone into other people's worlds and killed them. So, like, the blue sentinels are the police, really, aren't they? And so you're protecting a brotherhood of blood. So do you protect the host, or do you let them fight the blue sentinel?
God, this is like a TV drama.
Yeah,
I would say that you would fight the blue sentinel purely based on the dialogue from the merchant that ends up getting quite cocky in Medulla, because he mentions the place that he was at before. He said was rife with blue sentinels, and that they were not only corrupt, but that you couldn't do anything in there without going through them. So I think it's a falsehood. So yes, I'd end them, and always trust in the sign of the sunbro.
Yeah.
Sunbro's always
the sunbro's job is to protect the host.
Yeah. So
but if you're just a white phantom, then you pretty much do what you like. Also,
that head of the blue sentinels, when you meet him after the fake Ornstein.
Or real Ornstein?
Fake Ornstein.
Or real Ornstein?
It has to be fake.
It might be real.
Oh, but he's so rubbish.
He just might be old. That's why the abyss has made him go mental. Yeah, Oldstein.
But the guy that you meet after that, who's the head of the Blue Sentinels, comes across as a bit of a cock. Although, bizarrely enough, it does. I'm sure it's not. It does sound like the same voice actor as Solaire.
No, that's too much of a stretch.
No, it does sound.
No, I can't reconcile that in my head.
So yeah, we've stumbled onto important territory then. Fake Ornstein or real Ornstein? Justify either or.
Okay, I'll let you go first. I'll sit back.
I know it's real Ornstein, but I'm sad. I kind of just feel like, yeah, he's old and he's run down, but he was Ornstein, man. He was one of the greats.
Yeah, but like, how long has it been since Dark Souls? Like the implication with the cycle. Excuse me, my voice went there. The cycle's gone on a few times since Dark Souls 1. You know, everything's risen and fallen again.
I would interject that he's using dark magic, and in Laura's defence, he does drop the Leo ring.
Yeah, he does drop the Leo ring. And it's obviously in Anor Londo. Before you've got Gwyndolin putting up this sort of fake princess. Why wouldn't he make the guards, Ornstein and Smough, fake as well? What would be the point of them to protect the illusion? To have them be the illusion as well? I don't see, because when you kill Gwyndolin and lights go out, or sorry, when you kill the illusion of the princess and the lights go out, like everything vanishes except for a couple of random new people. I think there's a Berenike Knight and a Boulder Knight that turn up. Other than that, everything else is gone. Which makes you think that maybe Ornstein and Smough would have gone as well. Maybe they were constructs. Admittedly, they had Soul of Ornstein and Soul of Smough. But who's to say they were the original? They could be the copy. I still really like the idea that this is old Ornstein. And I would have rather seen him dead
just a corpse and collected the ring off his dead body.
You old romantic.
Where's Smo though?
Yeah, he should have been the dragon rider, the other one, across the other side.
That would have been pretty cool.
Okay,
Yeah.
here's a theory. Okay, so Ornstein, he's kind of a bit rubbish now. He does do Smo's butt stomp.
Yeah.
Something very similar to the butt stomp. Maybe he's absorbed Smo's soul, like you see in the fake fight in Anor Londo. We're calling it the fake fight now. Because Smo's an evil, cannibalistic twat, he's gone a little bit dark. Maybe? Is that how it works?
He's old Super Ornstein as well.
Yeah, he's old Super Ornstein, and everyone else in the world is bigger. You're playing a giant, but because of the scale of the game, you can't tell.
But the important thing to note is that in the Abyss, there is no Brasso. He's charging at you, and he's just like, I remember when I was really gold. Oh, I feel so dirty going into this fight, but go on then. You see, I wanted a few more moments like that in Dark Souls 2, where I'd walk into a room and it'd be like, oh, fuck, it's you.
Yeah.
Because that is such a huge moment to pack into the start of it, and I just would have loved at least one or two more of those. Or even if you'd have gotten to the final battle with Nishandra or something, and then you perhaps gone into another battle and there was someone else from Dark Souls.
Yeah.
I would have just adored that, because you might have gone through that Nishandra battle and gone, oh, that was a bit small. Oh my god, it's Gwyn! and like superfied, powerful Gwyn.
Oh god, I'm glad that didn't happen.
Really?
Stuff. Yeah.
It would have been just
not Gwyn.
Awesome,
anyone
though.
else. Not Gwyn.
Really?
Yeah.
Do you fear the beard?
Oh, just when I did my one bro, I spent about 40 minutes on my last fight with him. That's a long time.
I've seen so many people just parry him.
I can't parry. I
Can't
suck.
do it.
Yeah.
I watched Tamor from CVG in the Pursuer fight, just like parry, stab, parry, stab. There's a part of me, the same thing that I was talking about with the Shady Woods. The part of me that just goes like, nope.
Yeah.
Well, the problem is the parrying's different now. Like, the timing's a bit off, and I could do it in Dark Souls. I can't do it anymore.
Yeah,
I kind of forgot that it's a thing in Dark Souls 2.
I end up eating a sword in the face. Like, I'm going to parry this. No, just hit me in the balls. Okay, done. Let's try again with a real shield this time.
So what do you make of the changes in Dark Souls 2, Laura? Do you approve of them, or some you like, some you don't, or what do you make of it?
I like the starting off with only one Estus thing. That was cool. I don't like the warping. I feel like the bonfires aren't as significant anymore. Mm-hmm. When I see a bonfire in Dark Souls 2, I just feel like, oh, there's another bonfire. Whereas in Dark Souls, it was just like, oh, thank God, it's a bonfire. And you would sit at the bonfire and feel really rested and safe. Whereas now they're just checkpoints, kind of. They just don't mean as much anymore.
The fact that you can just bounce, takes away from that. And there's also that degree of journey as well. That particularly early on in Dark Souls 2, there were less warp points once you were able to do it. But there's that feeling that even before that, where you get to a bonfire and you think, can I get back?
Yeah.
And that's a really amazing feeling, because it ties into that very centered childhood emotion again of feeling scared and feeling worried, and not just for the enemies that are there, but
for your souls.
Yeah, and if you might not be able to get back to Firelink. I mean, I remember doing stuff in Dark Souls just beyond Blighttown, and sort of trying to level up to get all the pyromancies. And the point where I got to the top of Blighttown and made my way back to to Firelink Shrine, I was genuinely having kind of palpitations that I was getting closer and closer, like a little kid that had wandered away in the summer holidays and gone to sort of neighbouring villages and towns and stuff, and then when you're coming back home, it's late and you think, oh, I'm gonna get done because the sun's going down, and your legs are barely pushing you onwards. It kind of felt like that, and that point where I sat down at Firelink after that, the whoosh came up at the same time as my sigh went.
You can't believe you've actually made it sometimes.
Yeah. And I like the journey on that of feeling like you're far from home.
And then you roll off the edge like a twat. Which we've all done once. We've all left a sign of shame.
I do it all the time. I can't walk in a straight line to save my life.
So this then moves on to Grow Up, and in the first instance, whilst this probably isn't a secret between the three of us now, Patrick, I have been cheating on you.
Again.
Yeah. But I saw you
dirty strong.
No,
I thought I was special.
No, Patrick. I remember you having soirees with Martin Chelton and possibly even Darren Gargett. Don't think I forgot that. No,
you weren't there. You were stuck behind.
Can't call it cheating. She reminds me of you.
Is that a real song?
It is, but it's on the end of the first Gin Blossoms album, which is possibly my favourite album ever.
Is it a serious song?
It's kind of a bit of a country and western piss take.
Okay. Makes sense.
But yeah, so Laura and I went into New Game Plus. And whilst I was of the persuasion, like, right, I'm gonna sort of mop up towards the end of the first game, and I haven't gone automatically into New Game Plus after sitting on that throne, and then it was just like, oh, come on, all right then,
do it,
yeah. Come join me, peer pressure.
I really tried to mop everything up. I did everything except Dart Lurker. I actually ran out of effigies in the world.
Because you see, within, I mean, I tried to make my original character just look like me. I think that was the original one. But when we went into Grow Up, in Patrick's. Because Patrick and I sort of started a Grow Up game as well from the start, I thought I'd go full miracles this time because I didn't do the Sombro stuff, and really my only design was that I was going to call my guy Magic Dave, and that he was going to have the same colour hair as David Silva of Manchester City. David Silva hasn't got sky blue hair, but he was going to have sky blue Man City's hair. That was it. Patrick came in with this kind of blushed, eyelinered, long-nosed sort of.
It had pointy eyes like a dragon. Basically, what I did is I sat down for half an hour and had fun with sliders. Good Lord, you can make hideous creatures. The chin of my character points out further than the nose.
See, I tried to make a really hideous-looking one for my Hexa because she's going to be invading, but I just ended up making the most super cute Britney Spears lookalike with blonde pigtails that you will ever see because I thought that would be so much more funny.
That's probably worse, yeah.
What is the breathtaking punchline on this? And I've almost been moving a slider from my non-created character to Patrick's blushed, Pinocchio'd, eyelinered person to backstories for characters, Laura Rich.
Oh my God.
Tell the backstory for your
No, I'm not telling the story.
No, you've got to do this because it is precious and it is wonderful and it's a cake that deserves to be shared with the world.
I don't think I can sleep until I've heard this.
But it's not. I'm not good at telling stories. But basically, my main one that's got really high faith, she started off like on the mean streets, you know. She would steal and beat people up, and she wasn't probably wasn't a killer. I don't know. She was But so then when she became undead, she decided that she was going to be really good and helpful, and so she joined the Sun Bros, and she's got really high faith, and she's a good guy.
But you're missing the best bit.
What? I can't remember. What is it? I don't even know what I said.
She doesn't gesture, does she?
She.
This is conscious.
Okay, so when she's summoned, she does the first bow that you get, not the flamboyant, dual bow. So she just bows, and then at the end of the fight, she bows again and turns around and walks away really slowly. And I hope it looks good, because I have no idea how it looks. But I'm hoping it looks really good and mysterious.
The I turn my back on thee.
My work here is done.
Yeah, it's almost like the
Right.
oh, thank you very much, and you just like just this hoity, no yeah, just turns around and just walks off into the distance. And I like the fact that the thought that your character disappears maybe about after 4 or 5 steps.
Yeah, I hope that's how it looks
Smokes
anyway.
away.
Yeah.
See, I like that. I like that. That's fun with gestures, because like in Dark Souls 1, me and CJ in our co-op times, we had, I'm gonna say, far too much fun with just the point.
It is wonderful becoming instant synchronicity when someone just pops through to the world and then just doing a double point, like that you're expecting them to start dancing when they're nominated.
Yeah, sort of pointing over there.
Yeah.
And wait, we should go look over there. With the slight delay we've done. And I'm glad that the point in this one is the very first option on the menu when you start. It's like, oh, point. They knew.
Yeah.
And I have a lot of fun with the battle cry one. I'd like to stand in front of where people get summoned in and do it as they appear from the ground. Rise from your grave. And we've now become, I think we've become in love with the no way gesture, which is in our games known as the nah mate.
I enjoy using that when I've been summoned into a world by someone that's a stranger. I'm expecting either Paddy or Laura. It's just like, nah, and then Black Seth.
Nah, mate.
Nah, it's not gonna happen.
I like if I'm trying to co-op and I'm summoned into someone's world, I really like it when I can just jump off a cliff. And just be like, nope, just die.
See you later, fuckers.
It's quicker and it's more dramatic.
There was somebody that invaded my game and instantly turned into a small box.
Oh, I love those.
And then was just crawling around like that thing in Star Wars. The guys.
I love it when they just stay as a box the whole time. They're not helping at all, and you're in a boss fight and you're thinking, I could really do with some help, but this person is just a box, and I'm just like, it's so funny, I'm not even mad.
I had somebody that invaded my world, became a box, and then just went off to explore the level as a box, and I stood back, and they came back ages later, and I'm sure I did some sort of laughing gesture, and then they turned back into a person and destroyed me within about 3 seconds. But it was just great, just sort of seeing somebody turn into a box and then sort of make little circles around me, and then just bugger off. It was genius.
It's just a box.
Yeah, but the fact that they almost went around the entire level before coming back as the box was. It
is fun running around as the box, because if you use the silver talisman, that turns you into the box, or whatever, a jar sometimes, like a vase thingy.
Mm-hmm. And just follow.
It is really fun. Yeah.
Just slightly out of range of where their camera would look at. So just move up, just a little bit. Stay about 20 feet away at all times, and just move up and just see how long it takes them.
Oh, that's a really good idea.
I did that once, experimenting with the cracked red eye orb, and they kind of knew, because they kept pointing at me, but not doing anything about it. Just, are you gonna find me yet?
Now, you see, in the runs that I've done with Patrick before, I've been used to us almost being tied with a piece of string between our hands.
Oh god!
But yeah. it was funny with Laura. It's just like I'd start firing off some arrows, and I'd go into that sort of zoomed up view, and I'd be firing arrows at somebody off in the distance, and then I'd look, and then equally off in the distance, it'd be like, oh, what's that? Oh, it's Laura. And you'd be like half a level away, like twatting people. You'd be like, oh, I couldn't wait.
My character moves really fast.
Oh yeah, she doesn't mess around, does she? And
No.
she certainly doesn't tell people when they're going.
She's a loner.
She
walks a lonely street alone on her own.
Gonna summon in help and then not use it. Just to prove
I feel
that you
weird,
don't need
though.
it.
I really love going into other people's worlds, but when they're in my world, it's kind of pressure. There's pressure to not die, but it's also like, when you have people around your house, like...
This doesn't sound crazy at all. Please continue.
I'd rather just go to someone else's world and just enjoy myself and not worry about making a mess.
I like that inviting someone to your world makes you feel like you're hosting.
Well, you are a host.
Yeah.
So.
Volleyball?
But I feel like I have to hang back.
Cheese nibble?
Well, I keep like, would you like an effigy? I have loads of effigy.
Cheese nibble? Gavlan?
But I feel like I have to hang back and I can't get really stuck into the fights, because if I die, then that's the end of their chance to get a token of fidelity or whatever. But whereas if I'm in someone else's world, I'll just charge straight in.
There is
Save the
a
host. Always
huge
save
degree of that.
Sacrifice myself for the host anytime, because I still get the souls. So
yeah, I did that for the Lost Sinner fight so many times. Like I just sort of hung out there and got summoned in. I needed a lot of souls because I pissed off the ancient dragon before talking to him. I kind of done goofed there, and I couldn't beat him, so I went to the pardon.
No.
You need 121,000 souls to get that pardon. So I kind of hung around for a bit in the Sinner fight, and you just sort of see like the host would get hurt, and you just run in front with your shield and go, "No, take me!"
The host must survive.
Yeah, why aren't they doing Esthers? Come on, take me. It's amazing how you see people like not heal. Like
I know.
You get summoned in their worlds, they've got a smidgen of health left. You're like, do something, heal. You must have an Estus or a life gem.
Miracle, so I can heal them. That was like that was the main reason that I started doing faith, because I went deprived because I wasn't sure what I wanted to do. But then when I started doing co-op, I was like, I need to heal these people. Like, they can't be trusted to heal themselves.
I have problems with deprived is a weird class to start with as well. Like my fist guy with no armour, I thought, well, I'll start as deprived because he's naked and he'll just use fist weapons. It took me 2 hours before I could wield the cestus. Because you don't have any stats; they're all 6. Yeah. You've got to level up to at least like a 12 strength and about a 10 dex before you can use it.
Yeah, probably.
So I was really sticking with the bit. Like I thought, I'm not gonna whip a sword. No, I'm gonna punch everything. Jesus Christ! It took forever.
God.
For fucking ever. And you can't dual wield, just bare fist. You've got to just pick them up and just punt. It became a game of, right, run out my stamina bar, run back and wait. Run out my stamina bar, run back and wait. Any optional fights, ignore them. Like the White Hide Knight.
Is he tough?
He's, oh my god, dual wielding Cestus is it is an experience. It's glorious. So when you hit the power stance, which is basically all I roll with now, you hit the power stance. You can't block, you can't parry, but you get on R1 you get your regular punch, on R2 you get your regular stronger punch. L1 now does a little 1-2 that can combo into itself. So you can go 1-2, 1-2, 1-2, and like that was making mincemeat of those knights in the Hyde's Tower of Flame area. Just 2 or 3 of those, they were down. Like, yeah, boof, done.
Slapping.
It's glorious, and it combos into itself as well. But the L2 attack is something special. The L2 attack is a spinning flurry of fists. Like, you literally spin round. Punch, and
like
I kind of
Zangief.
Yeah, a bit like Zangief, sort of like that, but with more punching rather than spinning.
This sounds ace.
And I find myself calling it the Rolling Thunder. It's really strong.
Talk to me about the power stance, because I don't know anything about it other than legend. I haven't used it.
Well, I've only been learning power stance with Fisto. I've called him Wirren of Bly, based on a character from a book I like.
It sounds like somewhere that might be in Manchester, something like, going to Wearing a Bly.
We're in on the Bly. Well, there's a comment in a book that I like by a guy called Joe Abercrombie, a book called The Heroes, and he's the character who says, like, why aren't you wearing any armour? And he sort of very slowly and carefully says, armour is part of a state of mind where you admit the possibility of being hit.
Patrick, what I want you to do now is, I don't care how long it takes, but perhaps in a future episode, I want you to come up with a backstory for that character.
Oh, he's getting one.
And this should tie into the way that they gesture to people or don't. Perhaps try and adopt Laura's turn around and walk away. That would be a nice little memento of this conversation. But that's what we need.
Yeah, everyone should stay in character in Dark Souls. Like,
always.
The Brotherhood of Blood should be mean and evil and not bow. And the Blue Sentinels should always bow, but be smug and haughty about it. And the Sunrose should be happy and sunny, things like that.
And Rap Rose should just shrug.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know, it's fun though, isn't it? But yeah, back to power stance. Okay, so power stance is a stance you can get into by holding the triangle button that you'd usually use to double hand your weapon when you have two separate weapons. Now, the way to get into power stance is you must have, I think, the most, like, the highest stat requirement weapon that you equip. You must then have half again on top of the stats on that one. So, say, for instance, my Cestus, I think it's Strength 10, Dex 7. So to power stance it, you've got to be at Strength 15, Dex 13 or 12, I think. And once you've hit that, you can then equip a pair of them and power stance it. I think you can mix up different weapon types as well. I've not experimented with that. I've only ever equipped two of the same thing. But that will hit you into power stance, and then that will give you interesting attacks on L1 and R1. You tend to lose your blocks and your parries, but if you can roll and dodge and whatever, then you'll be fine. So, yeah, power stance. It's very much a dual swordsman kind of thing to use. If you're a sword and board guy, you're not going to use it. There's no way you'll use it if you're a sword and board. And I only discovered it because I was doing this stupid fist-only run. But it's fun. I think that's leads nicely. I mean, it's doing a stupid run like that. It helps you understand the level of depth that, like, every option has got. Like, I never appreciated greatswords ever in my first runs of demons and dark. I always use short swords, nice and nippy, boom, 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 get out. And I decided to do a no shield run, the big two-handed Zweihander, because I thought, it sounds fun. And you just learn to play the game such a different way. And like, oh, you can get away without a shield. Like before, like I was like, this is my shield, this is my safety net, I live behind here. Please don't, I'm going to look out from behind it, but then I'm going straight back behind it, and I live here, and I've got some nice drawings on the back, and I'm just going to look at them, and it's going
to... Don't mock my life, Ginger.
You get, like, a pain in your wrist from constantly holding the shield button.
Yeah, but it's a good pain, it's a good burn.
It is.
It hurts.
A safe pain.
It hurts, but it's for the best.
Yeah.
But then when you go, like, two-handed with your greatsword, you're like, okay, I can't block anymore. Oh, shit, what am I going to do for Capra? And then you realise, oh, I can beat him in 4 hits. Huh.
Wow.
Yeah, it was. That was, I think, the moment when I realised that this is actually a really good system. And I got the Black Knight Greatsword drop as well, which is just ungodly once you've got it leveled up. Ungodly. Oh, okay, so you can go to Anor Londo with your Black Knight Greatsword plus whatever. You can run up to those 2 giants outside of the main hall. On the route up, there's the two outside. You can run behind them. A single R2 attack will kill them.
Wow.
Yeah, and it's the R2 attack of the Black Knight Greatsword is the one where they'll put the sword behind him, drag it on the floor, and do the big uppercut smash.
That's schmexy.
The vindication. It's the fuck you.
Mind you, I've got I think it's the Black Knight Greatsword on New Game Plus. And I imbued it with poison, but it's also doing fire. And I didn't know that...
It doesn't remove the fire. It reduces it a bit, but it doesn't remove it.
Yeah, because I didn't know you could get 2 on the same one. To be fair, I haven't seen poison kick in yet. I'm using it, but I don't think I've used it on anything that I have to kind of twat really that repeatedly, because I'm either using that or what I describe as the flake of justice, or but in my head. I always hear that in the same way as that song, I'm on the edge of heaven. But in my head, it's like, I've got the flake of justice. And I do like hitting things with that a lot, although there does seem to be those moments where I completely miss people entirely, and it takes me a little while to recover because it's just a giant flake. I feel like a borrower that's nicked something off an ice cream.
I found this tree.
It is a bit like that.
It does look like that.
I especially like the fact that that I'd be sort of holding like a shield and like a regular sword. It's just like, hey, just like this massive microphone.
And I've just got this tiny, skinny katana.
Yeah, but you kick bum with it. Isn't it a dark katana you've got?
I've got a lightning one and a bleed one. And
do you have you guys imbued your weapons? Because I've not even touched that yet.
yeah.
I don't want to. I don't know. It kind of feels rotten.
I've got lightning everything. It's just like a whole matching set. But I've got the bleed one because when you get invaded, people like to run away from you. And I think if I've got a few hits in, then at least while they're running away, they're going to be bleeding. It's just annoying because I'm just like, oh, come on, just come and fight me. I want to get on with the game. Come on.
Is this a choice that you've made or your character?
No, this is me.
I didn't know she decided she'd like people to bleed. She sounds smashing. I'm sure I've met her on Plenty of Fish.
It's about the efficiency, see, because she's on her way to help people, so, she can't be dealing with invaders.
You can do
the same thing with poison knives as well. If I see the thing I've been invaded, if I've got time, I'll get the poison knives equipped. I'll see them. I'll just start hucking them. And you can see when they've been got because they'll run away. And you'll see their health just slowly tick down. You think, right, don't give them a second, just keep on them, and eventually the poison will get them. Which is, it's satisfying.
You see, my problem with the imbuing of weapons really is the fact that the blacksmith that you see is really this non-entity, who sort of farts out a few syllables. And then, because I loved Andre, he was probably one of the only people in Dark Souls that was actually nice.
I want to hug him. This is a hug gesture.
Yeah. Oi! Where are you off to?
Let's have a hug.
Going to the shop. There's a Mars bar. He was great and he was lovely, but I just feel that this blacksmith just made me miss Andre. You don't fear his beard, do you?
But did you like that he was a bit mental?
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, that he was just sitting there talking to himself.
Yeah.
No, he's no Gavlan.
He's not very aware.
I love Gavlan so much.
I wondered the other day because you don't actually speak, and all these people have a conversation with you. Is it just all in their heads?
Wait, are you really there?
Don't know.
Well, I know I'm there, but I'm not actually speaking to them.
It's weird when you see a conversation and they've not animated the lips or anything like that.
They're just talking with their brain. Maybe you're telepathic.
Oh, maybe. Maybe it's all in my head.
No, it does give it yeah, maybe we're not really here. Maybe your character is deciding this conversation. She's sitting at a bonfire somewhere thinking about people bleeding and all that she's helped and walked away from, and then she's thinking, oh, let's imagine a lady in Wales having a conversation about my life.
It's gone really deep now.
Yeah. We'll move.
It got weird.
Has any of the lore for Dark Souls 2 managed to sink in particularly? Yeah,
I don't know.
Or has there been any sort of place in particular that you visited that you've been particularly connected with, or someone that you've met maybe?
Are you prompting me to remember something that I've already told you?
No. No, not particularly. I was just...
like with tell us the backstory. I'm never telling you anything ever again.
Yeah, we'll see.
I think there's a few areas that do that to you. Like the first time when I met Old Ornstein, I was 20 hours in. I didn't go that way. First time I went through High's Tower of Flame, I just ran at the Dragon Slayer, at the Dragon Rider, and I fought him with no platforms up. I just ran. I didn't fight. I was just like, fuck this, just and thought I'd done the area. And then only later I thought, there's that cathedral, isn't there? And I went back like 20 hours later. I was like, oh fuck, this changes everything. Oh, what? Whoa. But again, the Lost Sinner as well. I feel really smug and really, really smart because I sort of worked out the sort of the lore significance of that person before I went in. I worked out who it was going to be.
Who is it?
It's kind of like the soul of the Witch of Izalith.
Really?
Yeah. Oh. And do you know how I worked this out? You're going to be very impressed.
Did they drop it in New Game Plus?
They do drop it in New Game Plus, but I didn't know this. No, I worked this out and then looked it up, and then other people have gone, oh yeah, you get this soul. I was like, fucking vindicated, brilliant. So you walk up the little passageway towards it, and you sort of see an area in front of you with the two passages leading up. And I thought, that reminds me of the Bed of Chaos. Two passages leading the other way, because there was an article on Polygon in the forum. A guy put together about the Bed of Chaos and Yonic symbolism, which is lady parts. So let's not get bogged down in lady parts. But I looked at it, I thought, yeah, they kind of sort of fallopian tubes off to the sides there, aren't they?
Yeah.
And they've got fire in them, which is interesting. And then you go in and there's a little bug that crawls in its eye. I was like, I know that bug. I've seen that bug before in the middle of a Bed of Chaos. Ah! And then when you pick the soul up and it's like, it's a her, you're like, I was right. I think I was right. And I felt super smug and super smart. I didn't work anything else out after that.
I'm terrified of everything you've said. How do you? Because I can understand like clever people sort of going that, you know, at the end of Dark Souls that the shape of the level before you get to Gwyn is in the shape of a kiln. What runs through your mind where you go, it's a little bit like a lady garden?
Well, it reminded me of
it
the Bed
is,
of
though.
Chaos. It does.
I didn't click on, but now I'm like, yep, totally is.
It's really obvious, isn't it, once you noticed it?
I really wanted the Lost Sinner to be me, my Dark Souls character.
I also thought that was a cool... I was hoping it might be something like that as well, like when I was thinking, that could be me. But then you pick up Sublime Bone Dust, don't you, from different places? Like, is that me?
No, could be.
Was that me? The remains of a saint who cast himself into the flame, like that might be me.
Yeah.
Ooh, I'm eating me now. Ooh, yum. Tasty.
The thing that sort of affected me probably the most from the conversations that I'd had in there on first run at least was Vengal. The voice actor's just completely in the zone. You turn away from the screen and it's genuinely affecting. And that led me to wonder, with him saying that he was a sword for hire these days, and that if you find his body to beware it, it just made me think of perhaps he was in league with Vendrick, or had become a sword for hire with Vendrick, and that the experiments that have been going on he'd actually been a part of.
Do we find his body?
Yeah,
it's just after the Duke's Dear Freya, isn't it?
Just sitting around in that last room.
Yeah,
and since he mentioned that his body was about, again, that's one of those things you think, oh shit, where's it going to be?
So I didn't find the head first run through the fog, so I didn't realise that was it.
I didn't realise he was just a head for ages. I thought he was like a small sort of rock person for a while. So then you look back and think, oh, he's just a head.
Because the guy that does the voice for the little dude in the Brotherhood of Blood is way in the zone with that. You need lots of blood. Drench yourself in it. I actually felt quite thirsty. I was like, I've got a little cherry pop in. But yeah, he gets really into it. But yeah, I put out on Twitter that I was really affected by the Vengal stuff. And Neo Loki on Twitter mentioned that his kind of in, if you will, was Lucatil of Mirror, and that Neo Loki was genuinely affected by that journey, and went on to say that their relationship with their stepdad, that their stepdad was an absolute hero to them growing up, but the stepdad's got a degree of dementia and now doesn't remember the stuff from when they were young together. So Lucatil's journey to find her brother and then losing herself as she goes along, and having you as the center point for keeping sort of on a mental path, I guess, was really affecting to them, and that really shook me, because I started to think about you can play everything into the the fancy cliche of the curse and stuff, but these are people that have either lost their memories or have come to that place and are losing their memory. And when you meet Vendrick is just an empty vessel dragging a sword around. So maybe more than the cliche of the curse, maybe it is a people that were losing their minds, and that Vendrick had taken this action, whether the experiments into dragons and even the atrocities of going into the human psyche, to try and keep the sanity of the people. And then this then led on to Navlan, and a little bit that I sprung onto from a Dave Control Live video, and it mentioned in the description about Aldia that there was a banishment, and the only person that is banished in Aldia is Navlan, and Navlan is a fractured personality with massive schizophrenia, and that then plays into whether you meet him as a hollow or as a person. But that then led me to, well, if somebody had tried to fracture their own psyche, are they then looking into what it means to be human and a memory? And this is the point that all sprung out of that, where I started to fall really deeply into Dark Souls 2, because anchored to what Neo Loki said, and then the way that I spun onto the game afterwards, and it just started to become really important to me, when originally it just didn't catch fire with me at all.
Yeah.
Oh, I've just had a thought. A stupid theory. This is the on the fly. Oh, that sounds like that. What does Navlan rhyme with? Maybe one of the fractures of his personality went off to go wheel and deal.
Oh, Patrick.
Oh, but wouldn't that be great, though?
Maybe they're twins.
I don't know much about Navlan. I don't know much about Navlan because I met him in Aldia's Keep. Because there's two paths you can take in that bit, isn't there? You can go left and go say hello to Navlan, or you can go right, and there's the quite amazingly hilarious floor of messages.
I didn't read them.
I read all of them. I was like, don't do it. Don't press this lever. Leave. Walk away.
I probably
turn
still
around.
would have.
Yeah, I was like, fuck you. I won't do what you tell me. And I did the lever. I didn't even know what it did. I was like, fuck it, doing that. And then I turned around, chatted to Navlan. I was like, yes, I'm free. I have my target now. And I thought, yeah, this isn't happening again.
Doesn't he phrase it in the wonderful way of, I've got a new mark.
I've got a new mark. And then I kind of had...
Awesome.
I had flashbacks. And I was like, not again. Because you may or may not know, Laura, that when I played Demon Souls, there's a certain character that killed everyone in the Nexus before I realised.
Oh, God.
I lost basically everything except for Stockpile Thomas and the blacksmith. Before I realised, and yeah,
I killed him because I wasn't losing any of my NPCs. I like them.
Always kill Yurt. I had no idea. I just didn't see it come. I just went back to change my magic. I was like, "Where's the witch gone? Where's everybody gone? Oh fuck!
Oh no!
Yeah, that was.
Could you not get them back?
No.
So could you not level up?
I know the maiden was still there. Sorry, the maiden was there. Maiden, Stockpile Thomas, and the blacksmith guy. That was it.
It's still pretty awful.
It was terrifying. I was stuck with the crappy soul arrow for the rest of the game. I just couldn't change it. I was like, come on, please. But yeah, I saw Navlan and I thought, this isn't happening again. I'm not losing every goddamn NPC that I've got. Nope. Right, he dies now. So yeah, killed him immediately. I thought, I'm not having that. And I didn't do that with anyone else in the game. Even the ones that looked a bit shady, I let them live.
I would quite like to know, though, what he does if he gets free.
Apparently he just invades the shit out of you.
Oh, he does invade the shit out of you. He appears like all over the place.
I think, but if you
quite
talk
regularly.
To him, if you talk to him with the fog gate down, he's actually a quest giver.
Yeah, and if you, but he wants you to murder NPCs, doesn't he?
Yeah.
And bring you proofs.
But I know he invades just before the boss fight with the dragon at the Dragon's Eyrie.
Does he?
And
what
he invades just before the sparkly tree where it says "Produce the sign of the king" in Forest of the Giants. He invades in there. He invades quite a lot. And it just got to the point where I was like, "Yes, you again."
But you can trick him while he's still behind the wall and he's asking you to kill people. You only need to bring him the items, and I already had that ladder from Gilligan, so he just accepted that. He took it off me. I wanted to keep that. I don't know why I bought it, because I thought that has to mean something at some point.
If you kill Gilligan, you can get another one off his corpse. Which I found out on my salting of the earth before I started New Game Plus.
Yeah, but doesn't your sin carry through to New Game Plus? That's what I heard.
Slightly.
Yeah. The only NPC I've killed was the equivalent of Oswald, just because I wanted that mask.
Oh, dude. Yeah,
and it did look
Sin
sexy.
Does carry. Yeah, Sin carries, because it was quite cathartic, because I bounced off Dark Lurker somewhere in the region of 20 times. And couldn't do it. I was frustrated. I was out of effigies. I was like, right, fuck it, everybody dies. Started with Dark Diver Grandal and worked out from there. And yeah, it's some of them don't drop anything. Like, you think, oh, they're going to drop their armor, and they don't drop anything. And I think Malentia's the only one left alive, because she sells their armors once they're dead. There's not that many.
Ooh, can you get the Emerald Herald outfit?
Nope.
Aw.
Killed everyone. There's only a few, there's Pate's gear, which is basically just a knight's gear.
You were drenched in sin.
Seriously, I killed everyone. Literally.
That carries through to New Game Plus, though. I'm surprised you...
I've been blue invaded a few times already, and had some rather interesting fights as well. You just wave, and they wave back, and then you both stood there sort of fucking lightning at each other.
Tell me, what does this murderer look like? He has hair like a satsuma. I shall find him in it. Ginger bastard.
But I found in New Game Plus that I found that I kind of wore the Drain Lake mail for a lot of the game. Sorry, let's just rephrase that. I wore the Drain Lake mail as soon as I found it and never took it off.
It's pretty as anything, and there's that kind of wavy carpet bit in the background.
It looks good. It's got really good stats, and it's really decent sort of poise to weight to strength, whatever ratios on it. But, I started New Game Plus, and I thought, am I a boring twat? No, I'm changing this. So I experimented with my gear, and now I'm wearing those, the Mastodon trousers that make you look like you've got some funky-ass disco threads.
Just in the name, it sounds like the most heavy metal thing to wear to a concert ever.
God, yeah.
Yeah, I'm wearing my leather skirt. What are you wearing? My Mastodon trousers.
Mastodon trousers. But if you mix that up with one of the flowy shirts at the top, like the Lion Maid shirts, and then one of those, the hats you get from Aldia's Keep that are like an orb with fur.
You know the hats you get from Aldi. I was thinking, what? I've got
cheap shit hats. Yeah, you mix in one of those hats, and you look like some sort of weird disco lion. It's a good look, and I've spent hours messing around with outfits just to see what they look like.
I did do a fun run with not a fun run, like
jogging.
I made £20 for cancer relief. But I had the dark wraith mask and the sort of black flowy witch's purple outfit, and looked like a rather sexy Skeletor, although I have seen that beaten by someone who created a purely blue character, and then I think they might have had on those hairy dreadlock lions capes and the dark mask, and they just look like a better Skeletor than me, although mine better dressed. So in my New Game Plus game, because I am holding some quite heavy weaponry. I've just been running about in a pair of pants and the smoothest wax chest. But I put on the Pardoner's mask, which made me look like a wonderful wrestler and distracted from my wonderful musculature. But
no,
then,
it didn't.
yeah, but then I got those gloves from, I can't even remember what the character's like, but the mask is like some sort of crazy superhero 60s Batman villain Egyptian mask.
I know, I think.
But the gloves just make me look like I'm refereeing a snooker game. So I can only think that this will put off the enemies to quite a degree.
They'll just be confused.
Yeah. Oh, look at that magnificent chest holder sparkly mask. Oh. When's the next frame? Okay, this is an important question that came up previously in a conversation between myself and Miss Rich. And Estes, does it A, burn, it hurts, or is it B, like pop, it tickles, Patrick?
I think Estes, you kind of refill it at fire, don't you? So, like, I think it would hurt. It's got an aspect of heat, and it's stitching your body back together.
Ooh,
I think that shit would hurt.
But
when Wolverine regenerates.
Yeah, like it like he regenerates stuff, but it still hurts.
Yeah.
But when you drink fizzy pop, if you have lots of it, and the bit when it hits the back of your mouth, it kind of makes the same noise as Estes.
I think it's more of a sizzle.
Yeah, it's like a.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like what, skin searing.
It's the sound of like it tastes like there's like lava dripping down your throat.
But you've got no choice because otherwise you die.
Yeah.
Might be an energy drink.
It's Lucas.
Oh, I hate energy
Is that what it is?
drinks.
It's Lucas. Yeah.
We were saying it'd be awesome if they launched Estes as an energy drink, or at least like a Lucasade did a version of Estes. I think I'd drink that all day long. I'd come home from work and I'd just be twitching, just like
you'd be downing them in one as well.
Yeah, you'd have to. That was quite a good impression.
That was good. I like that. Yeah, the fact that you fill it up at a fire means it must burn. Nothing you drink from a fire would be nice, I don't think.
I think if Estes was an energy drink and I just drank too much of them, I'd be lying in bed at night with just like darkness, but my eyes like bright, like in that Simpsons episode where Marge's like, "Oh my dear, promise me you won't get beats for ponies." Like, Schnee. It's like, what was that? Mer. Those aren't even words. And like, mer. And then like the lights go off. It's just his eyes and his smile kicks in. I think it would probably be like that. I think we have covered all bases.
I don't know. I could go for about another 8 hours. We should do this again tomorrow.
Yeah, that sounds reasonable. The series. But yeah, it's been a genuine pleasure to have you on, Laura.
Thank you for having me. It was loads of fun.
Now, where can people find you?
We don't want your address. Like, we're just looking for like the internet.
There'll be people listening and go like, "Hey, she did say she got milkshakes in the fridge." Yeah, that's as good a reason as any.
You should go check if there are boys in the yard.
There's always boys out there. I just ignore them. I'm used to it, you know. But I'm on the Twitters, Rupture Leaking. But don't follow me because I'm awful.
If you follow her, she'll walk away with disdain.
Self-promo. But yeah, please tune in to us next time, and thank you again to Laura Rich for joining us. Hope you enjoyed the chatteroony.
We're not done yet.
Aren't we?
We're not done yet.
Well, you always do this.
Yeah, you keep forgetting to do a real ending. We always have to go back and do if you like our show, you can listen to us on the YouTube at YouTube/whatever Twin Humanities Pod.
If I had a pipe now, I'd be filling it.
Fill it.
Gazing out of the window, thinking of imaginary trains.
Fill your boots. I'm being social media.
All right.
If you like us, we're on the Twitter at Twin Humanities. We have an iTunes podcast feed that currently isn't working. We're fixing it. It might be working by the time you hear this. Who knows? If you're a fan of food on our YouTube channel, you can check out the latest Craft Souls video in which we make Solaire pizza.
It's not as good as the Crow's Nest one. That was genius. I
Yeah.
loved that.
Thanks. But there may be another Craft Souls video coming possibly soon.
Interesting.
Spoiler alert, and it may relate to something we were talking about today. Spoiler alert. But yeah, that's all the admin stuff.
Oh, and please,
Yeah.
please rate us as well on iTunes. And I stumbled upon Podbay today, and Twilight Eyes said on April 5th, "This is a great podcast about an amazing game. If you love the Soul series, you will love this show. To listen to these guys dive deep into the lore of this game is a way for me to experience Souls at times when I can't play. Guys, you were awesome. Please keep up the great show." That's awesome. I'm sorry it's taken us so long to get back to that, but thank you very much indeed. So yeah, please give us a rating because it's awesome.
It all helps as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, now we can finish properly now.
Okay, thanks, Lord Rich, for joining us. We've had the greatest time. I don't know why I sang that.
There was no need, was there?
No, it's been a top chat. So thank you again.
Now, time to turn your back and walk away slowly. Fade into the distance.
Don't
I'm gonna war cry.
Yeah. we need the.
Just this once.
We need the at least. Do you imagine it as a or a?
Yeah, it's more of a
I think that's
definitely.
That's it.
Yeah, thank you all for listening, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. So yeah, I've had a bit of a last 20 minutes or so, but I'm good now. I'm alive, and I'm going to eat a little handful of nerds, and then we can begin.
It makes you sound like you're a giant, and maybe you found the place where Kotaku has all of its readership, and you're just reaching your hand in there like a ginger Godzilla.
And I'm just picking them up, and then they're in their hands screaming, "No, give us more JRPGs!" And then I eat them.
Yeah, something like that.
Oh.
So yes, our guest is Laura Rich today. So she's just making a cuppa.
Oh, cool.
I just came back.
And I was just announcing you.
Well, that's weird. Hi.
Hello.
Hello. Bear with me a sec. Oh.
What did you do?
Me?
Are you eating on the call, you bloody savage?
I've had a very harsh evening. The nerds are making it better.
Don't try and make out that nerds are one of your 5 a day.
They are. They're rainbow. There's different colours.
Oh, so what? This one's green, like lettuce.
Yeah. Then we've got an orange one, like an orange, or a carrot, whichever you prefer.
You see, you have to. Everything comes back to the colour orange, doesn't it?
It does. And ironically as well, nerds have a thing at the minute where they're working with a campaign to stomp out bullying, which is which is kind of weird, right?
But then, how would I say hello? Other than like sub-ginge balls. I have no proof that they are. They could be snowy white and lit with fairy lights. I hope they are.
It's like Christmas down there.
Oh, don't even go there, you filth. Mind you, I did start it inadvertently, so. I am obviously represented by coffee, and tonight's is my favourite French roast with a hint of blackberry. It's a strong, delicious dark roast, which makes me go brrr. Although if you saw the thing that I put on Twitter earlier, that really did save me when I was on my break, because it's been a horrendous day.
I hate days like that. What was wrong? Was it just one of those shit days where people just come in and are evil?
People are bizarre anyway. It was just a really long day, and we're doing sort of a thing at the minute where it's sort of half-price frappuccinos, which means that it's like out the door and down the escalator for a long time. So
I've never had a frappuccino. Should I try one?
They are glorious.
Are they?
Yeah, my favourite of the new stuff is the coconut mocha frappuccino, which is essentially like a liquid Bounty bar with a bit of coffee in it, and then whipped cream on top, chocolate sauce, and coconut shakes.
Wow.
It's amazing. And I also cribbed some spoons of chocolate chunks from the mocha cookie crumble frappuccino and chucked them in mine. So it was like a liquid lifesaver. You could see if I had an energy bar, it was going like like when I was on break. It was like whoop-a-doo.
Oh, I'm just on green tea all the time.
Really?
I don't mind it. I like it.
Mm-hmm.
I do miss coffee.
Because I obviously am Coffee Jesus. So
Of course.
I speak to the
Don't try and turn me.
the coffee avatar. and let me tell you, Lauren, it misses you. I was going to the coffee avatar, which is just imagine is like a big elephant with like 9 trunks, each of them in like a mug of coffee.
You're a really terrible person.
Yeah, what's your point?
Just that.
And I said, hi coffee avatar, and they were like, how's Laura Rich? I was like, she's well. They were like, she doesn't come to the fountain anymore. Like, I'll have a word.
I'll visit one day. I'll have like a weekend just of total caffeine, and it'll be amazing.
I'll know because you'll be on Twitter, and it'll be my feed will just be you.
I'll be shouting a lot.
Yeah,
3 in the morning, all capital letters.
Yeah. The shout lock button.
Yeah, something about caffeine just makes me want to type in all caps all the time.
I do love my coffee, but because you obviously both know where I work, but there are 2 kinds of coffee beans. There's Arabica and Robusta, and Arabica are grown at higher plains and they have a lower caffeine content, and Robusta are grown at lower plains and are really high in caffeine, but they're a lower quality coffee. And whereas places like Costa do 50-50. So that's why if you have a Costa, you might get more of a buzz out of it, but it is shit coffee.
Yeah.
Our place is 100% Arabica, so you're getting less of a buzz and more high quality coffee.
That's a good compromise.
Yeah, but it's not as robust though. If I'm having like a caffeinated drink, I'm going to want it to be pretty robust because that's what I need it for.
No, you need a high quality.
A kick up the arse, like, that was a robust drink.
No, because you see, if you've got a good relationship with your taste buds, it will go, yay, verily.
I don't like my taste buds.
I just have to sort out a child. She
Okay.
walked in on me and ran out. Sorry.
As you do.
Right, 1 sec.
Well, I've already finished my tea,
Why did you do that?
which I drank in rage.
Sorry.
Do you reckon a wyvern's broken in?
Possibly.
Maybe a worm.
It is Wales, so yeah. They could,
Do they have do they have drakes in Wales?
I just like the thought of kind of a train line and a bridge in Wales, and then the dragon.
Here be dragons.
The dragon from either Demon Souls or the start of Dark Souls landing on the bridge and like crunching a train and then throwing off.
I am back, by the way, just so you know.
Hello. Yes.
Hi.
Is the little one okay?
Oh, she's not very little.
Oh, okay.
She's
The
fine.
not so little one.
Is the medium one okay?
She just wanted to know if she could open the new milkshakes. So, yeah, it wasn't important.
No, I can. Well, having been saved by a frappuccino earlier, I can see that has been very important.
True.
I'm kind of let down. We thought it might have been a dragon.
Well, we are Welsh, so...
I was saying that.
Dragon.
I just had visions of kind of some sort of Welsh train line, like in that Stereophonic song where the boy died, and
I don't know that one, and I really shouldn't I?
Na na na, you smell that smell, time again.
No.
Local boy in the photograph, that's the one.
God, I don't know.
I just just imagine sort of like a dragon landing on sort of a bridge with a train, but it's the dragon from Demon Souls and Dark Souls, and then it crunches the train up and then goes bye.
You realise your Navan could very well be the intro now.
Oh yeah. I was wondering what the intro might be, and that I might have to finally crack into my Bonnie Tyler. I need a sunbrow.
Oh my god, amazing.
So that will happen at a certain point. But,
I think we'll take the nerds because
I'm looking out for a sunbro and his summon sign.
Yeah, or it was going to be sort of where's all my Esther's gone and where etc. etc. And they're like, I need a bonfire. Pulling up for a bonfire to the end of the night.
You're gonna have to do a different song for every intro now. I think you started something.
It has kind of blent into that quite heavily recently, and I do have tons of fun doing it.
I found that. Do you sit there just thinking of words? Because I've been doing that. And I've got a folder in the Twin Humanities folder just with lyrics for songs.
The kilt was when I was really ill and I lost my voice, and I had the one from a previous episode, which was based on Lodi by Creedence Clearwater Revival, and it was what was it? Just about a year ago, I woke in a place I did not choose, feeling all kinds of undead. Oscar of a story staring through my roof. Got a sword, I got a shield. Fuck me, that's a mighty crow. Oh Lord, I'm stuck in Lordran again. That was driving me mad for about a month. The thing was, I should have recorded it then because I could barely speak. I was like, just about a year ago.
Well, that's good. It worked. It was good.
Yeah.
It sounded more authentic, more real.
I had a lot of fun doing that one, but it was in my head for ages, especially the fuck me, that's mighty crow, which is making me laugh in my own life far more than I care to admit. Lols. Right, I'll just take another gulp full and we're away.
Cool.
Can you kill that crow? I'm googling. Can you kill that crow? If you
the big
hit it
one?
in one, yeah.
Wait.
Or will it never die? Like, will it fly away with a slither of health if you hit it with like a giant spell?
Oh, the one that just kicks it in Firelink?
Yeah.
Oh, never thought to try?
Because when you get it to a certain amount of health, it flies away, doesn't it?
I don't know.
Oh, you never tried to kill it?
No.
I'm just horrible then.
I just
wanted to see if I could. That's all.
I just wonder who it was at the Japanese developers that was going that said that crow in Dark Souls, it looked great in a busty air. Is it? I forgot the name of the crow in Dark Souls 2 that's locked in that room.
Ornifex.
Ornifex, yeah.
It's a really cool name.
Yeah, but it sounds like something that you might see in an infomercial about 3 a.m. Do you like ornaments? Do you like special effects? Try Ornifex, the ornaments with special effects from JML.
It's just like a little sort of thing, a box you can put on your bric-a-brac shelves, and every now and again it will do a little light show and some smoke.
It is. Or I like the thought that it might look like some sort of really classy, old school bustier. And then all of a sudden it just breaks into a bit of Prodigy or something. All these lights are, and then maybe the bustier's like head goes on fire, like I'm a fire starter, and then the eyes start glowing. I don't know.
It's gone too far now.
It's gone too far. Too much. Down the back.
The coffee's kicking in now. It's